It's golden, golden.
We bring you nothing but the best.
Projecting African values.
It's Golden Movie Award.
It's golden, golden.
We bring you nothing but the best.
Projecting African.
Hi everyone, we are back again with you with the 4th edition of the Golden Movie Awards. And as you all know, Golden Movie Awards is all about performance and not popularity. However, this year we have great news for you, as the tickets aren't available for sales. So you can visit our website on www.goldenmovieawards.com, apply to attend the main event on the 2nd of June 2018 at Movenpick. Tickets are not on sales anywhere. If anybody comes to you and tell you that he or she is selling a Golden Movie Awards ticket, just know that is not true. We want to wish all our nominees all the best on this year's awards. Thank you.
It's Golden Movie Award.
I'm doing very well. It's a good day. Actually, this is my second time in the jury. Last year was my first time. That's 2017. I don't want to be negative. It has been a heartbreaking experience for me. Being Ghanaian and knowing that GMAA is looking at being an African Festival Awards, and even though it's been made by a Ghanaian, it was heartbreaking to see films from your country. And as a filmmaker myself, it was heartbreaking to see how unserious we are with film in this country. Watching countries like Cameroon. When did Cameroon start making movies? If you see their compositions and their storytelling, Ghana was the first West African country to actually consider film as part of the development of the country. And how many years after Kwame Nkrumah died, it's like we're sinking low. Our stories are... it's been heartbreaking. That's all I can say.
It's Golden Movie Award.
I think it's one of the award festivals that really has promise. If they could really stand the test of time and not listen to anybody who wants to pull them down to mediocrity, they really have a future. And they can almost be compared to any other festival, film and arts festival around the world. Since I've been on this jury, I made it a point to really do my job well, not compromise. Even if I saw a film that was from my best friend, I wasn't going to compromise, because the idea was to look for the best. And if Oscars has done it for 90 years, African can do it too. So if I'm on a platform that can actually be a pioneer of something like that, yeah, I'm on GMAA to be part of your dream and to make sure that the best films come from Africa, enough to compete with the Oscars.
It's Golden Movie Award.
Research, and look, I've got stories that I've written that have been lying there for 3-4 years, and I don't touch. I read it from time to time just to see where I can, because you need to draw me, you need to make me believe that the story you're telling me, even though it's your world, is so believable that I believe that there's a world there like that. I want to be able to relate to the story that you're telling me. Now, if you're telling me that you give me a period movie that is set in the 70s, and you give me an item in that movie that is probably made in the 80s, I mean, do you want me to believe that? And then it stops all thought process. I can't even look at the story, I can't even look at the acting. I'm just stuck with the fact that how stupid could you be not to do enough research? I mean, we just need to research, and we need to stop using these new technologies just to slap onto the film and think that we're making it better. Just go back to basics, and that's where you'll find your truth.
It's Golden Movie Award.
My name is Apolline Traoré. I am a writer-director from Burkina Faso, and I'm here in Ghana to be a grand jury member for the Golden Movie Awards. I've been here a couple of times for other reasons, for pleasure. but it's the first time that I am in Ghana for work, actually.
It's Golden Movie Award.
Well, it's a very lovely place, but we haven't had the opportunity to enjoy it because we've been working so hard. It's been long hours, a lot of films to view, so that we are very comfortable, but I wish I could have a little more time to swim because we have a beautiful view, a beautiful swimming pool, and some massages that we unfortunately weren't able to enjoy because we have a lot of work to do. The jury meeting has been really, really good because we've been arguing a lot. Of course, our opinions sometimes are diverse, but it's been a very, very great experience because, of course, I come from Burkina Faso, and then this is a French-speaking country, and I'm in the French zone. And for this selection, there's a lot, of course, of Ghanaian, Nigerian, and Cameroonian film, which we over there don't have the opportunity to see. So this is a very good opportunity for me to see all those films that I don't know, and then to learn about some new directors that we don't know over there. It's been long hours, it's been a lot of films, but it's been a very, very good experience, and I really enjoy it. For me, I'll start with the bad and I'll finish with the goods. The bad submission for me is we have to first talk about the technical aspect. There's been a very, very bad sound. The films that are not mixed. The story goes a little bit all over the place. So those are what we find bad, because when you want to submit the film to be criticized, you have to be careful at least on the quality of the technical part, that the film has been well lit, the sound, we can hear the sound, and it's just not shouting too much. Those are the bad parts about the bad submission. But we did see some great film that are very well written and especially very well acted. I am very surprised that I've seen some faces that I've never seen before here in the continent, in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Cameroon. Some actors that are incredible that I've never knew, and I really, really enjoyed, and I'm happy to have met them, to have known who they are, because I didn't know who they were. So that we had some great submission on films with extremely good acting. But my concern really is about the technical part that needs to be really worked out. Well, I think that for every filmmaker, the goal is first to tell their own story, and not to copyright. We've been, for a couple of years, we've been losing our identity somehow in our films. It's our responsibility, and it's our duty to narrate our film where we can actually show who we are, how we grow, and where we are going. So this is what I actually can say. Ce que je peux dire avec les cinéastes francophones, c'est de persévérer dans leur travail et de faire attention aux problèmes techniques que nous avons dans notre cinéma, au niveau du son, au niveau de la lumière, et au niveau de la qualité des acteurs. Voilà. Aujourd'hui, je suis au Ghana. On nous a montré d'excellents films où les problèmes techniques étaient assez graves, mais ils avaient un très 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 bon jeu d'acteurs. Et je ne peux que demander à mes collègues et aux jeunes, en tout cas cinéastes francophones, de faire aussi attention à ces aspects techniques et de travailler aussi sur leurs acteurs. Voilà.
Oh, my stay, I enjoy my stay, very cool and it's fine. But the work is hectic. Imagine watching about 5 films a day, sit through it, and then you argue with other jury members to choose the best. And then, we are looking at a lot of things, acting, camera, technically everything. We need to, as it is, argue about everything, even color. We need to argue about color. So it's not easy. It's hectic.
We're bringing nothing but the best.
I don't think it's proper for me to mention titles of good and bad films. But what I can say is that we have received some good and bad films anyway, and then we are doing our best. We had 2 members, one from Nigeria and one from Burkina Faso, and then their inclusion is doing a lot of good for us because we are now looking at Africa as a whole in totality. So getting views from the jury member from Ivory Coast and Burkina Faso is actually adding salt into the whole soup, so at least it will taste better. And I know 2018 Golden Movie Award will be different from 2017. Filmmakers need to do more. We need to think outside the box. We need to do a research. We need to do a lot, because what we are seeing now is something that though some are good, but we need to do more. As I said, we need to do research, and then we need training. A lot of filmmakers need training. Organizers, they are doing well, and then we hope they will get more sponsors, or they will get sponsors to take the heat out of them, because it's not easy to bring about 50 members here for about 7 days. And then after that, I can't leave my work and come and stay here 7 days for nothing. I know after everything, something will be given. And all these are going on the head of organizers. So I'll plead with corporate bodies now to come on board to sponsor Golden Movie Award Africa, because their mind is to go Africa. Now they are able to bring 2 jury members, one from Nigeria, one from Burkina Faso. Next time, we don't know. It may be from South Africa, it may be from Egypt, it may be from somewhere. So the organizers, big thumbs to them, more grace to their elbow. But I'll plead with the corporate bodies to come on board to assist.
Golden Movie Award.
This is actually my second stint as a jury member, and I have been very, very happy with some of the films that I have seen so far. Others have not actually been up to scratch, which is unfortunate, but because we're trying to change the African narrative through film, we have to go through the movies, and then where we think we can help producers afterwards by telling them what we think went wrong, we will do so. But so far, so good. There have been some wonderful movies that we've seen, wonderful cinematography, good acting, and we're looking forward to the rest that we haven't seen so far. We're here till Monday, so we've got quite a while to go.
My experience on the jury this year has been fantastic. We're not done yet, but the experience is very good as of now. We are screening over 50 movies, and when we started, we were having 7 movies which are not too good, but after the short stint with the bad movies, we are now getting some very good movies, and they are not only from Ghana and Nigeria, but you have movies from Cameroon, Burkina, Ivory Coast. And what we've realized is that other parts of the African continent where hitherto we've not associated good productions with them are now coming up. And so it is a lesson we are also learning here, which we hope to impart to our filmmakers in this country, that they need to improve and learn so they can compete well on the African stage. We have jury from Burkina, we have jury from Nigeria, and then we also have some visiting jury members from the general public. And that's an innovation for the year that we find quite exciting, because the views are diverse and we get to enjoy a certain level of camaraderie, like we are like a family. And so therefore in every family we have people who would agree and disagree, but at the end of the day we want to give the audience and the filmmakers and the film lovers the best of films for them to enjoy the awards.
I think that for a movie to be judged as a golden movie, for instance, then it has to have everything that is good about a movie. The storyline is very important to us. It must flow. The pace of the movie has to flow. Camera work has to be good. Lighting, sound in particular. You realize that unfortunately with some of the films that we have watched so far, the sound has been terrible. And if your sound is terrible, then you should know that people are not going to enjoy watching your film. So to be sure of your film gaining the popularity that you wish for yourself and your company, if it is a company that is producing the film, then you must make sure that the technical aspect of the film must be up to scratch. Sometimes people think that you need to spend a lot of money to have a good film, but it is not so. You might have a very, very, very lean budget, but come up with a well-produced film.
The objective of the award scheme is to change the African narrative. And so therefore we are looking at films that are told well, or stories that are told well. You could have a good story, but the interpretation or the telling of it can mess it up. And that's rather unfortunate sometimes. But we try to select films that portrays a good narrative for the African and also has the best quality in terms of, like I said, sound, cinematography, costuming, whatever that makes a film a great film. That's what you're trying to look out for. Indeed, in certain parts of the world, they want to identify an African film by bad quality sound and pictures. And so we want to change that narrative, you know. Yes, so that's what we are trying to look out for. It is not about, let me say this, it's not about posh locations. You're not looking for posh locations or the best of dresses. No, we are looking at a good story and how well it is told, looking at the various facets of film.
I would like to add just a little bit to it, because this year, for instance, I have been so impressed with the quality of cinematography from some of the films. And lighting, mood lighting has been wonderful this year. So you can tell that we are progressing slowly. I think that the Golden Movie Awards Africa is getting bigger, it's getting better. Last year, a series from Cameroon came to us, and it was a wonderful series. It won an award, and she went back. And the people in Cameroon were so pleased with it. And this year, we've had over 20 films from Cameroon coming through.
Yeah.
So you can tell that the Golden Movie Awards Africa is doing what it can to lift up the flags of Africa as a whole.
Filmmakers in Africa should follow the basic rules of the game. The Golden Movie Awards wants to portray Africa in a very positive light, and it can be done through film. So they have a good opportunity, and the platform is open to all filmmakers from all genres of film. Now we have certain rules and regulations regarding the awards. So when you go to, let's say, the website, just follow these rules and regulations and your films will make it to the grand jury. You don't need to know anybody, you don't need to be anybody. Just follow the rules, basically, and then we can get to see your film and you can get to win the award.
I would say it's been part thrilling and part disappointing. Of course, I think I came here with quite high expectations for African movies. Over the years, I was expecting to see a bit of progress, as I would put it that way. But some has been great and some has been quite not to my sort of like expectation. We've had some great movies from other, countries that you wouldn't actually place them as quite great when it comes to African movies. We've had some great movies from countries like Cameroon and the rest. But what I find quite disappointing is the fact that, we are not getting a lot of, great movies from Ghana and Nigeria as I would have, thought, was going to happen. But, it's been a thrilling sort of like journey so far. I think the jury is quite, packed with, a lot of intellect. We've had loads of specialists, persons within the film industry. We've had people from Burkina Faso, Nigeria, and these are not just ordinary people. You've had people that have had, over a decade experience with the film industry. So I'm quite, sort of like, I'm excited to be part of the jury. And also, I'm quite honored that I've had to sit with such, interesting and quite intellectual people who have got many years of experience within the film industry. And to have such people judging a film is something that you are actually going to get a better outcome. I have been writing on movies and, not necessarily African movies, but I've written a lot on African movies. I've reviewed most, of the big African movies. And what I've seen over the years is that we are not making enough progress with our storytelling. And I think, as we've seen countries like Cameroon and the rest doing, I believe Nigeria and Ghana, sort of need to step up their game and have a better sort of understanding as to what the audience want. We've had a one-way storytelling for a very quite long period of time. So I think it's time that our filmmakers begin to actually invest in not just the sort of like the general product, but also invest in the actual story that they're telling us. We've had a lot of recycled stories, and some are even direct lift from Hollywood and other sort of like places. And to me, if you want to tell a story, you should be able to actually, even if you are lifting it from somewhere, add something that makes it quite unique. And I think we are missing that sort of uniqueness with the stories that are coming in from Africa or from most of the countries. And I think, as we look forward to things, I would actually hope that in the future we'd have more of our people telling original stories. Even if they're not telling original stories, they should actually make it quite, original for the audience. I think, the organizers are putting in a lot. It's been a journey, and this year being here, I've seen how much is being put into it, and then even the hosting of the jury members is quite something that I believe, has taken a lot of time and, financial sort of resource and everything. So I think the organizers are doing well, and they sort of need a lot of push and support. So, I would say they should keep up with what they are doing, and perhaps also call on corporate Ghana if they would want to come in and assist. This is, a wonderful journey to be able to actually look at, the creativity of others and say, well, I want to be able to award you for the excellence. It's something that is worth, keeping going.
We are here, about 14-member jury, and we are actually trying to, go through over 70 films to select the best. We are saying that we are selecting the best. We don't compromise in anything. It's so difficult to select the best because there are a lot of good films coming from Cameroon this year and Nigeria. Ghana is also doing well, but we are saying that we have to try hard because films that are coming from Cameroon have best stories, and the technical thing is the best. A lot of people feel that like we will usually meet and we know who we are going to give the award to. How do we know that somebody is bringing this particular film from Côte d'Ivoire or Cameroon or whatever? We sit down, we watch, we deliberate, we argue, and everybody gives his or her marks. Then later we'll sit down and then put them all together and the best wins. We are looking for the best story, best technical know-how, like cinematography, sound, directing, best directing, costume, makeup, and then acting. I am in particular to look for good actors and actresses. Because as a lot of you know, I am an actress, so I am very particular about the acting and the stories. The Golden Movie Africa is trying to change the narratives of Africa. We want to come out with positive stories about Africa, positive stories about women. We are looking out for stories that will improve our lives here, stories that will come out with a lot of maltreatment that the African woman is facing or the Africans are facing. We don't want to be trodden on again. So I'm advising the movie makers to come out with positive stories about Africa and do it well. Please do it well.
Golden Movie Award.
I'm a filmmaker. I'm from Nigeria. I'm here in beautiful Ada in Ghana, Aqua Safari, and we're here to judge the Golden Movies Award. It's an African award scheme for filmmakers in Africa. This year I'm participating in the jury, and I was just voted head of jury yesterday, which is a new thing for me. It's exciting. Very nice, lovely. I'm sure you can hear a bit of the music in the background. I want to dance. It's difficult working in this kind of environment, you know, so hopefully I can get a day off to go have some fun. But it's really nice, it's relaxing. It's not a bad place to be arguing about movies.
Golden Movie Award.
We have very prominent jury members, people, they're accomplished in their various areas, and of course when you have that means you have a group of intelligent people. So usually when you have intelligent people in the room, they'll have their own opinions. Opinions vary. So as president of the jury, what I do is just provide a good environment for everybody to express their opinions and then move things along so we can watch all the films on time. We haven't had any real technicals have been good in terms of watching the films and all that, but the issues we've had with some of the films that have been submitted, there's some films where we're having to disqualify because they didn't follow rules. And also across board, we're seeing that there's a lot of films with bad sound. If you have bad sound, even if everything else is fantastic, we won't enjoy the film, and that will definitely affect, you know, how we judge the film. So those are some of the minor things, but we've had some real good movies I'm excited about, so it's been great.
Golden Movie Award.
Film lives forever. It lives even after you're gone, so you must treat it as such. It's something, you don't make a film and stop making money from it. It continues forever if you make a good film. So it's very important that you take your time to make a good film. And if you want a film to win this kind of award, like the Golden Movies Award, you need to take into consideration the kind of films you're submitting. Because there are some films you make, of course, for commercial value, and then there are some films you make for this kind of award scheme, which means you have to have your basics right. And when I mean basics, I mean the technicals. You know, good cinematography, good sound, a good story is very important. In fact, when you have a good story, it grabs people, you know, and then maybe sometimes you can overlook a few of the minor technical issues. So those are the things. I'd like to talk to people about. Advise them, take your art seriously, and do your best, because your film will live long after you're gone. There are some films we watch today that were made 30, 40, 50 years ago, and when it's a good film, it will live forever.
Golden Movie Award.
It's a very young award scheme. It's only 4 years old, but they've really achieved a lot, especially with the kinds of films that have come in. I think people are recognizing the award scheme quickly, and I think it's very important that we have corporate sponsors sponsor this kind of award scheme. It's what we call giving back to the society. It's very imperative that these kinds of events are supported, especially when the people are doing well and doing good. They've taken a lot of time to make sure that the process is transparent, and that's what I care about. The process by which we come to terms, or we give you who the winners are, is very transparent and very, very good. So I think that this kind of event should be fully supported by corporate Ghana.
And actually, a friend of mine told me about the fact that the jury was looking for people that needed to have a learning experience. So I applied as a film student online, and a call came through, and here I am. I love the way the process is taken patiently, and a movie at a time, and the fact that it's deliberated upon thoroughly. Everybody's consent counts, and I've not been on any other. This is my first, but I could tell there's a difference to this one than any I might be on in the future. Golden Movie Awards, you guys have got it kicking. Looking forward to seeing a bigger movie awards show next year.
My name is Amber Mpokebek. I'm a writer and communications specialist. I'm a jury member, and it's my 4th time on the jury. I'm very privileged to be a part of this exciting African Movie Awards.
My name is Veronica. I'm my first time on the jury on the Golden Movie Awards. I have just been voted as the vice president of the grand jury.
Aqua Safari is amazing. It's beautiful. We have a lovely breeze. We have animals, horses, pelicans. We're just loving the vibe here.
Yes, I love Aqua Safari, and you chose the best location for us, because watching these movies sometimes can be tiring, stressing, but you found a way of de-stressing us by bringing us here, and I think it's a great location.
We get up at 6, have breakfast at 7, and then we're in the screening room at 8 a.m. And then we have a break for lunch. We're back again in the room until 7, and then we're back again until midnight and beyond. It's been hours.
And most of the films that we have watched are very intriguing. Some are, I must say that, first of all, we must pat all the films that we have watched, we must pat them on their back. They've done well. Some needs room for improvement, some needs to be patted, and that is what we are doing, awarding excellence. It's a learning process for some of us here, because filmmaking is a learning process, and as we watch some of these movies, we are learning from it to correct some of our mistakes as well.
It's golden, golden.
We're bringing nothing but the best.
Projecting African value.
It's Golden Movie Awards.
It's golden, golden.
We're bringing nothing but the best.
Projecting African